Strepperoonie or some shit.
I mean, you must have got that just right after because we were in here on the 2nd.
Yeah, it was. Like at Thursday, I started to feel like meh. You know what I mean? And then, oh no, I don't have that plugged in.
Good catch.
That would have been a bastard.
It's like, oh, it's sitting right there.
The whole time. And then Friday, like, the weakness hit, started feeling awful. Saturday woke up with a fever and then on and off for a few days. So, but we're here. We in here. So we got to do some.
We got some recap.
We got some recap to do. We're not going to recap because we already did that on Twitter. And by the way, I then reposted those to TikTok and stuff and Instagram. They got just as good views.
Yeah.
So decent backup.
Oh, that's good.
Decent backup. National Natty. Really, you took TCU to cover, and
Almost.
That wasn't close. So
it was at kickoff.
It was in the first drive.
Yeah.
2 drives actually.
So 1.
So that's 1.
Yeah.
And I didn't print off the end of the year results for college football, but you beat me by 4.
Oh, obviously.
But man, the comeback, like if you graphed it.
Oh yeah, it was one of those win probabilities.
Yeah. 99. It's like, yep.
It was like the Bengals-Ravens game where the win probability for the Ravens had Hundley not stuck the ball up in the air instead of towards the end zone.
Correct. One of those.
From 65 one way to 85 the other way. Yep. Tough luck.
What an idiot. We'll get to that, though.
Tough luck.
And then week 18. Week 18, I went 7-5. You went 3 for 9. It was...
yeah, I mean, we're not here for week 18. We're in the playoffs now.
It was
like the Cowboys in week 18.
That was a tough one. So that's...
And now I'm back playing like the playoff Cowboys.
Yeah. Except for you had to play me this week. So
I know. You crushed.
Hi. NFL has been good. It's been good to me, especially in the playoffs. So yeah, here we are. Let's recap Wild Card Weekend. For those that don't know, that happened last weekend, and there were some good games, and then there was a game on Monday night which I still do not agree to. Someone saying something?
I sent my new coworker Andrew.
Says that channel doesn't
the
exist.
Channel doesn't exist.
Since when?
I don't know. I didn't click on the.
You mean that channel? Oh, okay, cool.
I mean.
Did he click the link that's in the chat that you just sent? Oh, love it. Gotta love it. And anyways, here we are. So, first game, Seahawks-Niners. Niners were 9.5-point favorites. Totals 42.5.
Gosh, this game feels like it was a lifetime ago. It was only 3 days ago.
It feels like 2 weeks ago. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my goodness.
I really thought it was week 18 when I was doing this. I was like, wait, did they play again? Yeah. Oh, right. This was just a... I'm just pushing buttons.
So like playoff theme, I mean, up till last night was... I don't know if I'll go all the way to bad football. Bad but competitive.
Yeah, sloppy.
Ugly but competitive.
Ugly but competitive. Yeah, I agree.
So I was like disappointed in the quality of football, but then like you can't help but like be intrigued in a game that's a one-score game, which is what we got pretty much all weekend. Until last night, which we'll get to.
Oh my Lord!
We got thoughts on both sides of that. I get 1 week to wear my Cowboys gear before I probably get to put away for the year. So
there should not be a Monday night football game for the playoffs.
No, that was...
we'll get to it,
right.
But that's stupid.
So Seahawks-Niners.
This was a tale of, like we had talked about, Ken Purdy come out as a rookie and put on something and go win a game. First half, he didn't look good. Looked a little amped up to me, a little juiced up, but you'll have that.
Yeah.
Seahawks, stayed with it for a while, and I really didn't watch the first half, I'm not going to lie. When I tuned in was when they were driving to take the lead and then decided to go ahead and fumble.
Yeah.
And then it was a snowball from there. I mean, touchdowns, turnovers, stops. Like, it was ridiculous after that. And then the Niners were in complete control.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the first half. I can't comment on the first half. But the second half, the Niners looked like the best team in the league. Well put together. Mm-hmm. Shanahan was dialing up everything. I mean, guys were wide open.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if some of that, I'd have to look back at the film. Some of that was a couple mistakes, but some of that was just schemed. Mm-hmm. And it was impressive. I know that because I've seen that offense run very, very hot. So, very interesting second half. I thought the Niners just took control, dominated, and looked like the better team. And, right now they're my favorites to win it all as we speak. Did you watch first half?
Yeah, I watched most of that game.
Well, and you give some more thoughts.
I don't have a ton of thoughts on that. I feel like first half, especially of these playoff games, is a lot of feeling out. Now, yes, these teams are divisional opponents, but the Seahawks hadn't seen Purdy twice.
Correct.
And the one thing that I will say with Purdy, like comfortable, uncomfortable, whatever it may be, he's comfortable late in progressions and like creating extra time. Not necessarily to scramble, most of the time not to scramble. A little bit Flutie-esque is what I kind of felt like this weekend, where, somehow the guy's not getting sacked, somehow the guy's not getting, he's not necessarily on time or 100% accurate, but the ball's getting where it needs to go somehow, some way. And then you throw Shanahan's scheme in there. And obviously, when you can hand off to Debo, you can hand off to McCaffrey, or you can throw to both of them. You've got Ayuk stretching the field, and then Kittle. So,
Kittle.
Like, you've got 4 really good weapons that Shanahan has really paired together well. That takes a lot of pressure off of any quarterback, especially one that's played as well as Purdy. And I don't care if you're a rookie or you're in your 5th year or in your 20 whatever year Brady's in. A lot of it comes down to just how comfortable you are with the system, with the guys, with the offensive line, and Purdy, for whatever reason, has been the perfect fit. Better than Garoppolo even.
Yeah.
It almost goes back to, you look at the beginning of the year, like Trey Lance getting hurt, and even Garoppolo to some, like, that's been a blessing in disguise for them.
Sure has.
So, because I just don't know.
They go as far as he goes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they can win a Super Bowl or they could lose this week to the Cowboys. Like, that's really all up to Purdy. And I don't mean Purdy from, like, he has to go throw for 340 yards like he did, but he just has to distribute the ball and do what he's been doing. If something happens and he changes, that's when I think that'll go downhill for him.
Right.
But solid.
I mean, if you can they've had a little bit of ups and downs. Obviously, he has not lost a game as a starter. I think they won a game 13-0 against the Saints. So, like, they've had games where their offense has struggled a little bit, but not with a healthy Debo and McCaffrey. And
scary.
Even if you hold them a few times, they're going to score points. But Seattle just couldn't keep up the entire game. And as soon as, like you said, the mistake was made, the 49ers really capitalized that. And the big thing that happened was Samuel got tackled, and he felt like one of the defenders was trying to twist his knee at the end of a tackle, and they said that, like, in their post game that that was the turning point. They felt disrespected, or that they were trying to hurt. And then you watch a replay, and I mean, whatever motivation you need, but from that point on, they just absolutely destroyed Seattle. So
the rain wasn't a factor.
No, it's
a lot of points there.
Yeah, what I expected. The rain actually held off too, because it just absolutely poured on them about 15 minutes after the game got over.
Yeah.
So
which we thought would hit. That's why we took the under, and boy, was that a mistake. But that Niners game. I cut you off. Yeah. That's all right. I know. Where you?
But I also had the under, I believe, in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's correct.
So 49ers move on as expected. They covered the 9.5, and the total of 42.5 went over. Next game up was the
Chargers.
Jags.
Wow, this game.
So you didn't see the beginning of this game either.
Oh, I did.
Or you did see the beginning.
I stopped watching when it was 27.
That's okay.
And then I had to come back and tune back in because, chaos was ensuing.
Right.
So I mean, I wasn't watching. I didn't watch the first 3 picks. Let me back up.
Yeah.
I was following.
Right.
And then I picked it up late, and then what happened? So the story that goes behind this one is it the offense's fault? Is it defense's fault? Head coach, offense coordinator's got fired, so he's gone.
Right.
Is it the quarterback's fault? And before you answer that, I will go back to this point. We called Herbert social media quarterback or whatever we called him.
Yeah.
He is not getting really any hate for losing this game.
No.
But we'll say like Matt Ryan gets hate for all big collapses. How is that not the same?
Because the Chargers chargered. So like the Chargers have done this before. It's like Matt Ryan was with the Falcons, and so like he led the charge on the Falcons being
the
collapsers.
Yeah.
Whereas like, it was whether it was Phillip Rivers or whoever even was before that, like the Chargers just no matter how good they are or how bad they are, they find a way. I mean, it's kind of like the Vikings or the Falcons. There's a handful of teams in the league that like they just known to So it doesn't matter who the personnel that you put in there. Somehow the franchise is cursed in some way. If you look at it, that was the weirdest 4 interception game I've seen from a standpoint of first interception is a tip ball by a D lineman and gets tipped by another D lineman and then caught. Yeah. Which how often does that happen? So like fluke play, interception. Whatever. Second interception should have been illegal contact on the field. It was on 4th down. Throw the ball. Receiver doesn't get turned around. Defender catches it. Again, should have been a penalty. Yeah. So now you've thrown 2 picks and 2 drives. Made some good throws in between. Third interception got absolutely fooled by the coverage.
Oh, and we have this one. We have this clip. So Coach's Corner.
Yep.
We're going to go through that one.
Really good. Just really good disguise. Locked in, made the throw, just didn't read the overall coverage. Trusted his pre-snap. And so now it looks really bad because he's thrown 3, 2 of which are what they are. And then you get to the 4th one, which basically ended up being a punt. Now, do you love the throw? No. Did he maybe have something else there? Possibly. But essentially, Lawrence has thrown 4 picks, and one of them was bad. Right. And 2 of those possessions, the Chargers settled for field goals. Flip it to the Chargers. The Chargers missed an opportunity to go up 31-0. Missed 2 wide open guys in the end zone where they end up having to settle for a field goal. And, all of that is circumstantial. You go back and, hindsight's 20/20. But, like, that's when you can really put the, scoring touchdowns after those mistakes is huge because anything less than a touchdown is a win for the defense. And you can, speak to that a little bit on, sudden change, which we've talked about as far as, creating a turnover. If the defense can hold the other team to a field goal or less, then that's a win for the defense in any of those. So the fact that they were able to do that 2 out of 4 times and get a score before halftime, which I think was the biggest thing. Now there's momentum. Lawrence hasn't thrown the ball bad. It's not like he was getting absolutely killed in the pocket. There weren't those signs, kind of like what we saw last night where, Brady was bad, but Brady was also, he had people at his feet. And then, like, you could just tell he was uncomfortable. Lawrence didn't ever look uncomfortable to me. And so as it started the comeback, if the Chargers weren't going to score, I was like, well, they're at least going to have a chance to get back in this game unless the Chargers, and the Chargers never really did prove that they could drive the field. I think they had one drive over 50 yards maybe that scored. So that was kind of one of those things where should it ever happen? No. were it's kind of that perfect storm, which, you have to have. But the Chargers ran the football 8 times.
See, that's my
the
point.
Clock management.
Run the damn ball.
Right. And
run the ball.
So these are NFL quarterbacks. And in NFL, obviously, you've got offensive coordinator, everything like that. But like at some point, if you and I can sit here and say it, and everybody sitting on the couch at home can sit here and say it, if I'm Justin Herbert,
I'm calling it.
I gotta start running the ball, because it feels like what they did to me was they turned what they thought was going to be their running game into a short passing game, but it wasn't successful, and so therefore you didn't run clock at all, and then you also didn't move the ball down the field. So like I could even have felt a little more like, oh, if they're like trying to score, go play action, try to hit big over the top and really put it away. No, they weren't doing that either.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, there's fault all around. I don't think it's any one particular person. You had a feeling that the offensive woes were going to fall on the offensive coordinator.
Right.
And then ultimately the quarterback's coach as well.
Is that fair?
I mean, it's just the NFL.
It's the NFL,
it's the
but
business
it's not.
I mean, if you're the head coach and you're hearing the play calls, like, tell them to run the damn ball.
Say no, run the ball.
Right.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And the coach is a defensive-minded coach, and he gives up 30 points in the last possession and then the entire second half. So, I mean, he scored, 33-30? So he scored 3 points from the time that you went up 27-0. Yeah, that scored 33-3.
Yeah, with a missed short
with a miss a field goal, 40-yarder.
Well,
that's a chip shot in the
NFL.
NFL. Unless you're Mayor.
Hey, is this your guy, JT56? I don't know, but we're chatting with him. Anyways, we'll talk about the Philly game later as he's getting into it. But yeah, and a lot of people are saying, well, the defense should gain the points. The defense had 5 turnovers. If I'm a defender and I cause 5 turnovers, we should not lose that game. You should not. And to only get 30 points out of that, not great.
Yeah, I feel bad for Chargers fans because of that. I was literally watching the game uncomfortably last night because of what happened to the Chargers, expecting Dallas to somehow screw it up by missing PATs, by giving up an onside kick. I mean, how many teams have missed four PATs and got given up and still won by multiple scores?
Oh, so, I can't wait for that. But Jags go through. We wanted Jags to go through. We thought I picked them to win. You went with the Chargers like a dum-dum.
Oh yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah, what an idiot.
I didn't tell you mine was. I was first half.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. I got all the locks.
So next year we're going to go just by half.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Well, if it works.
Then we get on to the Dolphins-Bills. Man, what just not a good showing overall by Buffalo. It was just like they were just.
I mean, got out to a hot start. They were up 17-0.
Correct. And
I was like, just going to be a blowout, like everybody thought.
And then it just went.
Then they died. I think a little bit like they lost. They think. You go into, the Dolphins going to roll over. Obviously, they're coming out playing for Hamlin, so like you've got that, and then once it wears off,
then
you're in a football game.
Right.
Josh Allen turned the ball over twice again on bad plays, stuff that he's going to have to clean up. I just don't know if I can, trust. I don't know if I can trust Josh Allen. He showed it all year that he's been prone to red zone interceptions,
which is not good.
I mean, he's turned the ball over between fumbles and interceptions more than anyone in the league. And that's saying a lot because a lot of good quarterbacks have turned the ball over a lot this year. Dak Prescott being example 1A, and, he protected the ball last night. Dallas dominated the game. So there's a lot that goes into that. And then obviously as you get down to these games, divisional rounds and championship games, like that's going to matter. And at some point, if you're not taking care of the ball, that's going to bite you in the ass, even though it didn't catch up to the Bills this weekend and it didn't catch up to the Jaguars this weekend. And that is definitely, not something to be expected or a trend that I would anticipate holding up. So,
yeah. And great fight by the Dolphins. I mean, ultimately, they don't have a quarterback issue, but they have solid quarterbacks overall, the way they've been playing. So that one went over. It's a great call by your boy on that one. But we went Bills, split there. That's fine. Whatever. Moving on. Giants, Vikings. Oh, God. It felt so good to be right. It really did. Like, this was the turning point. This is when I said you had a shitty shot because it really was, actually.
Locked it in. Yeah.
Man, did it feel great across the board on this one. And it held true. All year, we had talked about who's fraudulent. The Vikings, their offense, and held steady on their defense.
I had the Giants in this game.
No, not money line.
Yeah, absolutely. 24-23 with a strip sack of Cousins.
I thought you said with a game-winning field goal. Oh, well. Anywho, doesn't matter. I'll give it to you.
I mean, I'm not going to.
You got 11. You're not going to 13.
Yeah,
but,
no, yeah.
So we had the Giants in. Ultimately, the Minnesota Vikings defense is just frauds. They couldn't stop them. Like it was, and the crazy thing, and we're going back and forth, run Barkley. Why is Barkley not running? You should run with Barkley. And Daniel Jones torched him for, I think, 90-something. It was a clinic, and he played. That's why his best game is a pro. Got to be up there.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so we can get into this now. You've called the Vikings defense, everyone, frauds.
Right.
The team, frauds.
Yeah.
Is Daniel Jones not just a case of a guy who played well, but then that is magnified because of how bad the Vikings defense is?
100%. Oh, yeah.
You don't expect him to come out against the Eagles and play that well?
Not a chance.
Okay.
He'll play better. It could be a confidence booster thing.
Okay.
But this was his best game as a pro. They can't knock that. Like, statistically, he played well. But the Vikings defense is just fraudulent.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I agree.
This is
I
not,
still
this
don't
is
think
not
that Barkley gets enough touches for the Giants, and I think that's ultimately what will lead to their demise.
If they don't
run
the
same thing as the Cowboys do, they just don't give their best player the ball now.
If they don't get him the ball this weekend, they have zero shot.
Yeah.
Zero. But they went in, took care of business. Minnesota.
They are what we thought they were.
Right? I mean, 11-1 and one-score games. It just, this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know where anyone thought this wouldn't happen, but this was going to happen, and it did. How about the Ravens Bengals?
Ravens-Bengals. I mean,
it was like
it's a divisional game, and that's why you and I talked, and when we did our Twitter, I hated that all of these games, or half of the games, were divisional games. It's already the playoffs, so you're already going to have games that look a little sloppy, but then you throw in, you've already played each other twice, you know each other. It just, in some ways, it muddies the games up, in my opinion. Hundley played well.
He did.
Burrow played fine. He didn't do anything to hurt his team, which essentially is what won him the game. Yeah, but he didn't make any plays. I mean, ultimately it came down to they had one really impressive drive. And besides that, they couldn't do anything. I mean, they were stifled by the Ravens defense. Mm-hmm. And Chase had, I think, 9 catches. So he got his touchdown. But overall, I was disappointed in the Bengals. Now, they started 2 or 3 new offensive linemen. That's a storyline going forward. So I was surprised the Ravens were able to hang in.
I was too.
But ultimately, they're play away from winning that football game.
Oh, they scored there.
I just don't. I mean,
I agree. Which was crazy.
It's crazy to think about right now. Yeah. And ultimately, all he had to do was not reach up and literally just let his 300-pound fullback push his ass into the end zone.
Correct. Or crazy thought, you're short.
Right. But I mean, Trevor Lawrence did the same thing.
Right.
But it's you just have to understand the situation of which, Lawrence, when he snuck, I think he was on the 2-yard line. And so had a gap, and then there's nobody in front of him between the reach out. I mean, you're just, and then somebody's going to knock that shit out of there. And he wasn't close. Half a yard away.
Yeah.
It was not he's
says the chip in the ball,
this
which we'll also get to.
Situation.
There's a chip in the ball?
What? Yeah. That was the blow your mind
Right.
stat of the weekend or whatever. But so yeah, I mean, I felt like the Ravens had a good game plan, and if they take care of the ball, they win the game. Again, that comes down to one possession, and a lot of these playoff games are going to be decided on that. That was a push, I think, overall. I think the line was 7. Game finished 31-24. That game went over. So just kind of push across the board. We didn't lose that one. You kind of that was a loss.
No, this isn't color.
Oh, that's fair.
That's yellow.
Okay, that's fair. So you were 13-5-1.
Well,
or went in the loss.
Technically, it's in the loss.
Don't do that to yourself.
But technically, it's not.
But yeah, the game went over, I believe.
Sure did.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. 41.
Oh, that's right.
It was 41.
That game should have gone over.
It should have went over.
Yeah, it was 41 forever.
Awesome.
I was thinking it was going to go over, but yeah, it never did.
I don't have my phone, so
Whatever. Oh, great. And so hopefully the Bengals can come together a little bit more on the O-line, so their offense can be a little more proficient. In the Bills, I expect the Bills-Bengals game to be a good battle. And
yeah, absolutely. So we get into Monday night.
Yeah.
With our almost pushed a button that maybe not been there. Rode the boys.
Yeah.
It's the Bucks. I'm just gonna jump in and say, never in my mind did I have a doubt that the Cowboys would not win that game.
Right.
A lot of people were trying to jump up on the Brady train and say, "Oh, Brady can do that." Blah. Get out of here. Okay. Cowboys a better team. They showed it, and now, resident Cowboy fan, you can go ahead and take the floor.
First 2 drives were absolute garbage by both teams. I think there was -2 yards in the first 4 total drives or something. I mean, something just absolutely ridiculous.
We talked.
Play calling was brutal.
Cowboys, you said Cowboys went throw, right?
They went short pass, garbage, inaccurate short pass,
Next
garbage,
drive.
3rd and long.
Everyone knows what's coming after you go 3 and out with 3 incompletions.
Mm-hmm. Run right up the middle. So like super uncreative, no motion, nothing to move the defense, stuffed.
-2.
Now you have to throw on 2nd down, nothing, and have to throw on 3rd down, nothing.
Just bad.
The Bucks were equally as bad. Brady was inaccurate all night. So even when he had time, he missed guys, and he missed guys badly. And then he turned the ball over. First red zone interception
since 2019.
Yeah, as a Buck.
Yeah,
basically.
But since 2019.
Yeah. So he was 7-0. Like everything was against the Cowboys from Brady perspective. 7-0 against the Cowboys. Dak had never beat him.
Cowboys haven't won a road playoff game in 16 decades or whatever it was.
They've won 3 playoff games in the last 25 years, so like that's not saying a lot.
True.
You know, and they played terrible in Week 18 against Washington, even though they played their starters for no reason. So just a lot of things working against them. But
on that football game,
drive 3, hit a run to Pollard right away, got him outside.
Can you say that again?
Hit a run to Pollard.
Okay, because that
here's the other problem is Pollard's not in the first 2 series most of the time because Zeke's still the starting running back. And so you're putting yourself just in a hole immediately by not having your best player on the field to start the game. I don't care if you want to put Zeke out there, put them both out there, but you can't not have Pollard on the field.
Needs touches.
So he could do everything Christian McCaffrey can do if you just give him the touches that McCaffrey gets, in my opinion. Hot take, cold take, I don't know what that is, but that's
we're gonna put it out there for sure.
So, yeah, they finally, and once they got that first touchdown, of course they let the Bucs go right back on the field, and Brady makes one of the most boneheaded throwaways.
It was a throwaway. So,
but like he wasn't even really like that pressured to where like he should have just been able to launch that shit out of the back of the end zone.
Which was the crazy. I hope we have that clip. I'm pretty sure we have that clip.
Right.
But if you slow it down, it was a run play. It was an RPO that the 2 receivers were blocking,
and they stopped.
And he just then
like lofted it to no one. No, it was bad.
It was probably
so that was big, like because they could have got momentum back as far as one. Dallas had missed the PAT.
Number one, the first one.
Numero uno.
Yeah.
So you take a 7-6 lead, most likely type of thing. So just a lot of different momentum things that happen there. Also, like you've missed the PAT, but then when the other team scores and then makes it, it's like it reverts back. So it almost like burns you twice when you give the touchdown, back-to-back touchdowns up type of thing. You're like, and then you're like, oh my God, the kicker? Are you right? Yeah. So just the fact that, though that happened, that was huge. Dallas goes down and scores again. This is another PAT. And at that point, like they finally got a flow, finally figured out what Tampa was trying to do. I feel like Moore got into a groove with the play calling. Again,
it was beautiful, actually.
Yeah, Pollard got going. They had a lot of guys open. Gallup made a couple of big catches, and then like that's what they have to have. Like Gallup has to be big on third down, and he was.
Yep. And
then Lamb has to get open in the open field, get on those crossing routes. Kind of how the Vikings use Justin Jefferson. That's where CeeDee Lamb thrives, not in combative one-on-one coverage. In my opinion, that's where you can use Gallup, and you can use both the tight ends had some big plays, and just use T.Y. Hilton as you need him in the slot. He's good for X amount of plays a game. He's not a guy you want to run out there, but every play or every snap. But they utilized their guys well, and guys made plays when they needed to. Dak almost threw a pick in the end zone on one, went right through the defender's hands, and somehow Gallup ends up on the receiving end. But then Van Der Esch missed a pick later in the game. Right. But like I'm watching the whole game, and again in my mind, one, it's the Cowboys. Two, you're playing against Tom Brady. And like you've already had the gaffe of 4 consecutive PATs, and only one of the 4 was even close.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really think. Oh, the one that hit the upright,
right? Besides that, I mean, you could immediately tell by body language that he had no clue where the ball was going.
Right.
Like, I mean, he muffed one. He yanked
the first one was a pure shank.
That was a shank out of like
that was a hosel
first. Yeah.
You hostled the shit out of that.
It was fat.
Yes. So the next one, then he was late. And Billy, who kicked for us, Jansen, he was going back and forth, and he was just saying, from a snap, hold, fine.
Right.
His plant foot was too close.
Right.
The entire time. And then Pat McAfee even said this. He's like, he looks like he's trying to guide it in as opposed to just pound the ball through the upright.
Which
he eventually
not having issue
on number
all year. So like 5. This is, or in his career really even. So this, completely one-off, out of the norm type of thing. But
and no pressure. Like there was no pressure on this.
Right. Like he
maybe 3 or 4 at that point.
So, and I look back at it, and it's like, so Dallas then goes for a 4th and short around the goal line where they sneak with Dak.
Great play call.
We both agreed though that they should have kicked it.
No, they should have kicked it. Yes.
Just based on points, getting up multiple scores. It's early in the game. You want points against a Bucs team who struggles to score points.
Absolutely.
Couldn't have faulted him for kicking it. May or may not have kicked it based on whether or not they made previous kicks.
I think the same thing, but that play call, though, I think they knew. Like, this situation, this play call,
this is what we're doing.
It's 100%.
But then later in the game, they go on a 4th and 4. They get CeeDee Lamb wide open on a wheel route on a play action.
Just beautiful.
Yeah, great play call, great misdirection. Right. But again, you most likely kicked the field goal there if you had any confidence, and it didn't ever look like McCarthy even hesitated. Like the kicker had his helmet on because they panned to him. McCarthy wouldn't even look over there. Like they're like, he's like, not a chance in hell. But then he did finally make PAT on the 5th one.
Watching McCarthy after he hit it was hilarious.
So then, like, I'm feeling more comfortable at that point. But they go down, score, get an onside kick, and I'm just like, all right, we got to get a stop. We get another red zone stop. And again, like at that point, like the feasibility of a comeback would have been 2 onside kicks, immediate touchdowns,
and probably a long field goal.
Like a long field goal
to go to overtime.
to get to overtime.
Yeah.
And so, like, you feel pretty good about them, but, like, they missed the first onside kick. I mean, Noah Brown just botched the shit out of it. And it's just like, man. So, I mean, definitely some things to clean up, but, again, a good problem to have if it's a kicker and an onside kick that you're working at when you're up 3 possessions. So, but, yeah, looking forward to next week. Obviously, good win overall. You know, here's what I'll promise. Next week I'll work my Cowboys gear in either way.
Okay.
As to not be a fair weather fan.
Okay.
So, you know, if they win again next week, though, you've got to wear Cowboys gear.
That's fine.
Well, I mean, that's 2 in a row.
It's fine.
Like double their playoff wins over the last 20 years.
I said the Niners are now my new favorites. If they beat the Niners, I'll ride the Cowboys to the end.
That's my problem, though, is that so it's, I mean, you look at it, NFC East has 3 teams in the final 4 of their division. The problem is the team that I would root for besides the Cowboys is who they play this week. I wouldn't root for the Giants, and I would much rather be playing Philly this week than San Francisco. I think San Francisco is playing as good a football as anybody in the National Football League.
They're in a damn groove, and you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, so it's tough. Because I won't be mad if the 49ers win. You'll see my picks later. I think they will win. I think they can do things to neutralize the Cowboys' best players on both sides. Yeah. That the Cowboys can't do to their best players. So we'll get into that a little bit more. But going to enjoy this week. A good win over the GOAT.
Who should retire?
Nobody. Oh man.
He's done.
I mean, I don't know if you want to go into that at all, but I
think it's in our Twitter feed.
He looked bad.
He was throwing it at people's feet, and not the intentional grounding stuff we were talking about.
I'm talking like just timing balls, like
feet.
We're talking about 2 yards behind receivers. I mean, obviously the bad interception. So yeah, not a good look for the Bucs overall, and I think the dismantling there has most likely begun.
So I had 13 right. You had 11. So there's your. Another shitty shot. I do need to grab a pen, though, because I don't have one. And do you have one? No, you don't. All right, I'm going to grab that while you're doing your shitty shot.
All right.
And then we'll get to Coach's Corner. Since we don't have any other sports. Yet. It's almost golf.
Well, I mean, they're technically golfing. Just not anywhere not anywhere we care about. For elusive pen. This is what happens when we lose technology. What was that one? That was the peanut butter whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Woofda.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, I like peanut butter whiskey, but that's a whole nother
goddamn
level
of not good.
Peanut butter whiskey, yeah,
not good.
Got me.
Got him.
Got me real good.
Got him real good. All right, let's let the fun begin. I gotta figure out. All right, scroll for years. Thursday. Yep, there she is. What is this shit?
We talked about that last. Yeah.
Did we?
Yep.
Oh. How about the Pro Bowl?
Well, I don't know if we talked about it. I don't know. We didn't really get into that.
We don't need to.
I didn't say this week. I don't have to, Were you surprised Lamar didn't play for the Ravens?
Yeah, actually. Because it seemed like he just had a grade 2, I think it was, sprain. This is his, 5th week, 6th week?
Yeah.
Like, it's well within playing time.
So thoughts on the two different opinions that were out there between the two big ones were RG3 applauding him for not playing versus Michael Vick basically calling him out, telling his ass to put a brace on it and get in there for his teammates. What side do you fall on a side there?
Ooh,
only you know your body type of thing.
Right.
I mean, obviously,
This is
both had
one.
injuries.
Right. But we don't have
playing hurt and playing injured, two different things.
We also don't have $200 million contract on the line either.
I get it.
Right. So, from a business standpoint, I understand. From an athlete standpoint, I would have tried everything.
Right.
To play. Just everything possible. One, because how often do you, he's been in playoffs more than often than not, but you just don't get the opportunities that much.
Yeah.
And so I would rather bet on me now. Now, I don't know how he feels, right? We don't know that part. Right. But if I'm good enough to go out there and limp figure this thing out, I'm going to go out there and limp figure this thing out.
Okay. Next question. Why wasn't he at the game?
See, that's not even a question. Why the hell weren't you? You be on the sideline.
I mean, it doesn't appear like he was there anywhere.
Wouldn't you be?
I mean, if he was there, a camera would have found him.
Yeah. So I don't know if let us know if he was there or not. I didn't see him.
No.
They didn't really talk about him much besides
his
tweet and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that that was more concerning than him not playing.
Yeah.
Because what does that say?
Right.
But all right, so here's the Jags. And the tweet reads, and I don't have it pulled up, so I'm not going to read it. But basically, that the Chargers were going, what was it, man? They were going man. Let me just read it. God damn, bless America. Chargers have been played single high coverage on every first and second down snap so far. And then on the last third down, they show robber, which is another single high, and rotate to cover 2. So this is the third pick?
Yeah, this is the third interception. This is one I was talking about earlier. So basically what they're showing there is that safety at the top of the screen is kind of rotating back to the middle of the field. Lawrence is seeing that initially as...
So pre-snap?
The safety is going to roll down into the middle. If you're seeing the video, you're going to have one high safety, and then you're going to have corners that are either playing man-to-man on their specific receiver, or they're going to be backing off into some type of cover 3, covering their third of the field. What they do so well here is that basically right up until the snap of the football, you're getting the full adjustment into that robber or cover 3 look, and they then readjust, go into cover 2, which means that corner is going to be on the front side, and instead of getting man-to-man, which Lawrence just tries to hit a crossing route on this, and there's a corner standing right there that he never anticipates being there
at all,
and just doesn't get to that in his progression. So,
from
really good disguise.
Right. Oh, this disguise is, I mean, you don't get much better. And the reason for that is, one, if they're in man, doing what they're doing, he's going to run in motion. That's what he's doing. That is man signal.
Right.
You would have had one safety coming down to play robber if this receiver was 3-by on this side.
Right.
They went 2-by-2. So again, they're going to talk. He's going to come down and go back. Still not giving away that they're in cover 2. Not even close.
And here's the last thing that happens on this is the linebacker goes with the receiver in motion, which is indicative of man coverage.
Man coverage.
And probably the biggest indicator of whatever's going on behind you, that you're either going to get 2-man. Even if you thought that the safeties were just messing with you,
you're
that
still
you would
man.
be getting 2-man.
There's nothing
so you
here
still
that
wouldn't have a corner as a flat defender on the other side.
Nope.
So just an incredible disguise here by the Chargers.
And the communication and prep, like, this is great. This is great to see. And then we'll attempt to roll footage 7 times. Why does it always stick here? No? Got it. Don't worry. We got it.
There he goes in motion.
Comes in motion. Okay, we're in man. We're in man. We're good. They even flip there, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boop. There's cover 2.
Steps in.
You don't see, I didn't even notice this the other time. Corner and linebacker flip. To even sell it more.
Nickel package or dime package. So, yeah.
That's just.
Which just makes sense when you're going to run that coverage because that's who you would want as he's a natural flat defender being a linebacker or safety. And then letting the
quick twitch guy be in the middle. Yep, absolutely.
So
great. Just
yeah, I mean, just
I
overall
actually don't
schemed really well.
I don't even call this one on Lawrence. It is on Lawrence, but I mean, like this is a defense that
it just
got this pick.
Just tricked him.
Just tricked the hell out of him.
Tricky.
Gotcha.
So
love that one.
Yeah. Win for the Chargers as the whole first half was, and then all downhill from there.
This is just a good shout out to my Falcons and the Bears and the Broncos, which we all have friends of all of these.
So I don't know, like we can both agree that we probably think that the 49ers are playing, at least in the NFC, the best football of anyone in the league, and maybe in the entire NFL. Yeah. They've lost 4 games this year. You're about to tell us who 3 of those losses are to.
3 of the 4.
The other one is the Chiefs.
Bears, Broncos, Falcons.
Is that
Falcons by double digits?
Are those all picking in the top 5 of the draft this year?
Bears are 1, Falcons are 8. I have no idea where the Broncos are. They're in the middle. Right, it had to be in the middle of those.
Seattle gets the 5th pick?
Yeah,
5th or 6th pick.
Oh yeah, right. So that's where Broncos would be. So top 8.
They lost to 3 of the worst teams in the NFL this year. Those are their losses. Now again, you've gone through 3 different quarterbacks. One of the losses was to the Bears the first game of the year.
In a monsoon.
Right.
So, fine.
Right.
You still lost to the Broncos. And
Purdy's still undefeated.
You lost to the Falcons.
Big Cock Brock, rocking it.
Just rocking it.
So, but I just, that's crazy. An unbelievable stat to me that somehow happened.
To the team that, is looking to win a Super Bowl. Just nutty. So this is the first time in NFL playoff history a team has a +5 in turnover margin and lost the game. I couldn't even fathom having 5 turnovers and losing a football game. Actually, +5 in the turnover department.
The Chargers didn't turn the ball over.
And you lost. You were up and you lose.
So, yeah, that's on everybody.
That's on. Name them.
But, the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach got fired. So, ultimately, that's who it's on. Whether we say so or not, that's who it's on.
There was a scapegoat coming.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So,
speaking of Big Cock Brock, he says, and I don't know if this is true or this is just one of those little fake reports, but I've been called that for years. My high school gym teacher gave me that nickname first. Also, awkward?
I mean, I thought so, but I mean, it's just one of those things. You got another situation, so.
Oh, that's awesome. Back to the Chargers game.
Also, not sure if this is a real bet.
It's been apparently DK also tweeted it.
Verified.
So maybe.
But I mean, at this point,
what are you doing?
So somebody bet allegedly $1.4 million to win $11,200. First of all, if you have $1.4 million, why do you need $11,200?
Why are you playing for $11,000?
And if you're betting $1.4 million, it probably doesn't matter.
Correct.
So don't feel bad for this person at all.
At all. But what are you doing?
You're an idiot. So
you
actually deserve to lose.
Go put $11,200 on the Jags to come back. Do something that's worth a damn. Oh, this breakdown clip. I wonder if just listen.
It's a little long.
It is long, and you'd have to listen. But go to our YouTube, our Twitter,
our Twitter tube,
and watch us. It just explains what happens on the last big run here.
Yeah.
By the Jags on 4th down and explaining that they just been attacking Asante Samuel. So I wanted to bring this up a little bit, mainly because we watched the Cowboys game.
Right.
There's one corner that I think the Niners are going to do this to, and that's Diggs, because he was sprinting away from contact.
Yeah.
That first play, I have zero idea what was going on.
Yeah.
That's going to be an issue. That's going to be something to watch for those, tuning into the Cowboys-Niners game.
Yeah.
Which should be everybody. This one was crazy. This is just kind of insane. Just finding a place, being able to have an opportunity, and things happen. So Dean Marlowe, which was on the Falcons, went from being on the receiving end of a 60-yard touchdown. I don't know if you guys knew this. Hail Mary from PJ Walker to DJ Moore to getting an interception in the playoffs and starting for the Bills. Kind of a crazy turn of events there.
Yeah, I mean, again, you got Purdy in the right place, right time in San Francisco. Obviously, injured players coming in, and you got to be ready when your number's called. And each situation is going to fit differently. Every coordinator is going to have a different use for a guy on either side of the ball. So just taking advantage of an opportunity.
Absolutely. So you said to watch the ref in this one, right? Which one? Which ref?
I believe it's the ref standing over by the third down marker on the far side of the field.
All right. Come on, let it play. Which should have been a touchdown, but he dropped it.
No, it's
But look at this.
So he runs in.
I'll skip to it.
I think that's who. I think this guy. The reason I said this twofold. Obviously, he's animated, but I think he comes from the 13-yard line, sprints in and smacking. I mean, the ball is clearly laying on the ground.
Everyone knows it's incomplete.
I care nothing, obviously, and this is an absolute. This is the flutie. This is when I was like, "Oh, that's flutie."
He dropped this ball. This is a touchdown.
This is the Roethlisberger to what's his name in the Super Bowl against the Cardinals? Holmes. This is that type of throw.
Yeah.
And he drops the ball. I mean, this is literally half an inch window. Purdy extends this play like 4 different times. Boom, pump fake, dart,
drop.
But
ball's
here
laying
comes
down.
the
It's incomplete. It's on the ground.
So, he's down for hey, you know her?
You want to come on in?
No.
Wife showed up for all those who are listening and watching.
Nobody ever wants to come in here.
No. What are you scared of? Come on in.
We're scary. It's fine.
Come say hi. We can. Do you want to?
The football?
The football?
Go Argentina. Hey, there we go. Look at that.
Lincoln doesn't want to leave. He can stay if he wants. I don't care. Okay. When we get soccer this spring, you're coming in.
All right. That's easy.
See? Everyone heard that. That is on the record now. What's up, Link? You want to come on camera? You want to see yourself?
Poking in.
It'll adjust, but you can look at whatever camera you want. What, do you need my phone? Why is there so many cameras in here? It's to record, buddy.
Hey, your favorite football team isn't the Falcons, is it? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Here you are, buddy. Look. It's not live, so it's going to be a little delayed, but there you are. Are you going to chill in here, or are you going to go back and watch your TV? All right. Bye-bye. Here, you want my phone? Or you brought it to me?
You going back to the office?
Thank you. Go do some work.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So overall, great.
Yeah.
Can't really play that one. Oh, Jesus, bless America. I mean, it's just a weekly occurrence. Oh no, they deleted it.
Yeah. NFL didn't like that they were getting made fun of. Another terrible roughing the passer call in the Giants-Vikings game.
Just horrific.
I feel like the NFL just apologized for that. And here's the big play of the playoffs so far, honestly. Which oddly enough, I didn't realize that this came. I knew it was early in the fourth. I didn't realize it was. I mean, there's 12 minutes to go in this football game when this happens.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not, again, why this game should have gone over. It was at 41 with 11 minutes left in the game, and there wasn't another point scored.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't close.
No. They did miss a block in the back here. A pretty egregious one.
I thought they kind of just let it go because it is what it was.
Yeah, but he's tackling him if he doesn't get pushed in the back right there.
Yeah. But so I've watched this like 15 times. I'm not sure how he got that close to him. How?
What do you mean? Because he swerved the wrong way.
Well, I know, but like your team.
No,
yell
watch.
at him, go right, do something. They could have turned around and blocked.
No, watch right here where he
not
weaves to the middle. So he weaves to the middle, and like those guys didn't know where Andrews
He was finally clapping. But like
so Hubbard, I think is who returned it. He reached like either 18 or 19 miles an hour as a defensive lineman. Impressive. Andrews went fastest of the year, 20.4, I think, or 20.6 to catch him. And catches him if he doesn't get pushed right there by 51. That's a flag at the 15-yard line. That's first down from the 25, 17-17 Bengals.
They weren't going to call that. They just weren't going to call that.
That's a block in the back.
I just don't understand. We are taught head on a swivel.
That's a block in the back. You can't even tell me that's not a block in the back.
No, I can't.
Do you think he gets tackled if he doesn't get pushed in the back by 51?
Yeah, he gets tackled for sure.
That's a game-changing play.
One, I agree. Two, it shouldn't have been a non-issue because there's three dudes.
But it wasn't a non-issue.
No, it was an issue, and it was a block in the back.
Like, you got to make that call. Mm-hmm. You can't ignore the call because, like, he should have not been tackled.
Right.
I mean, we had Kirk Cousins getting roughing the passer calls for getting laid down on a bed of Charmin. Like, that's got to be called.
It's just bad.
There wasn't enough outrage about that not being called, in my opinion.
I agree.
If I was a Ravens fan, I'd have been uber pissed if that wasn't called.
Yeah. So here it is.
Yeah.
So the tweet from Next Gen Stats that absolutely blew up.
Next Gen Stats, correct me if I'm wrong, like this is like they are in congruence with the NFL.
Yeah. Yep. To provide
like
data
next for the games. They're the ones that swoop in like they probably have
the speed thing you were talking about,
all the technology.
Of that.
Yeah, this is Next Gen Stats. Just as a little background.
So they then go as said, according to the chip in the football. Okay, I just want to repeat that. According to the chip in the football, the closest the ball got to the end zone was 0.6 yards from the goal line. There's a chip in the football? Since when?
Right. And
we've all been saying this forever.
And the chip in the football lines up with so like our theory was
they didn't even see the freaking whatever.
Oh,
I didn't have it switched to the camera.
The chip in the football, like it would be so like there would be something on the goal line that would sense the chip in the football. According like that's our conversation.
How else would you know it's 0.6 yards away?
Right, but like is there not one of these
everywhere
items all the way up and down the field, meaning we should never have to measure first downs?
You mean like the first down sticks that could have it because they're lined up across the field?
The ones that they don't use to measure anything anymore.
And when they do,
that are completely inaccurate as far as the spots go, and that teams just rush up and snap the ball, whether they're a yard short or a yard after, or that cause really bad delay of games because the refs don't know which side of the sticks to spot the ball. Yeah, that one?
That one.
Oh, okay. So, like, that's my problem. Is like
there's a chip in the football.
If this is a thing, and there is a chip, which why would they tweet it if it wasn't true? And how do they get the information if it's not? Then either Next Gen Stats is screwing with us,
right?
Because you can clearly see that this ball's short. This is not something we needed a chip for. Like if it was 0.1 from the end zone, okay. Like in the Michigan. What was the Michigan TCU game?
Yeah.
You know, the whole butt thing, like, all right, fine. Like now tell me how far it was away. But I don't understand
in the football.
Did the chip sense the block in the back or no? No, missed it.
Inaccurate data.
Okay, gotcha.
Inaccurate data.
So yeah, the chip in the football,
But it's not in here, but I want to get to part of kind of what we were talking about too is this expedient review stuff. Okay. Love the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Let's continue doing that again all games. Always from now on. The chip in that, please.
To me, so we had some challenges, but it also eliminated challenges.
Yes.
So my problem overall, though, is when that comes down to the headpiece within a call or to expedite the game, you're saving these teams from having to challenge when they're overturning themselves. So I have a little issue with like just fairness or equality of calling, because if I do end up having to challenge and you should, like it was obvious that you should have, why should I be penalized when the other team didn't have to challenge 2 different times that you screwed up calls and got them? Now ultimately we want them to get it right.
Right.
But
I can see
that's my problem. There's still inconsistency with that. And ultimately the bigger inconsistency and probably the bigger problem I have is that what can and can't be or is and isn't overruled, or like, hey, dumbass, like the Kirk Cousins thing can't be overruled. Which, from a standpoint, like roughing the passer, those things
they should be
that are very obvious should be overruled, or ruled, depending if they weren't ruled correctly. But I don't know if that's, as fans, I don't know if that's what we want either. Like if I'm a Bengals fan, I'll take the other side of this conversation. If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm like, you don't know if he would have been tackled.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, he might have high stepped out of it or what, like, but it looked like he was running out of gas. Andrews was gaining speed. He got blocked in the back. Ultimately, a flag's got to be thrown. I don't know about that. It goes back to the whole when we had pass interference. That was a disaster.
It was awful.
It
was so bad.
Now, we don't always agree with pass interference calls, obvious or not obvious. Like most of the time, they're pretty discretionary.
We're also not talking about it as much. Like they're reasonable. They're within this like box of reason, right? We can see it one way or another. They miss a couple of fine.
Right.
This roughing the passer thing is
it's out of control.
Absolutely,
it's
out
egregious.
Of control. And I thought it would have stopped in the playoffs. I really did. I thought they would let him hit him a little harder.
Oh, roughing. Sorry.
My bad. My bad. Yeah, you got my chin hair. Like, why would you do that?
But I let you down easy.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't put all my weight on.
So there's that. But yeah, I just overall the flow of the game, it helps so much.
And I'm enjoying it. And there's a chip in the football.
Oh gosh, I forgot about this, but
so
I've been waiting to talk about this because I am going to take opposite view of everyone that in the national media. So this is not Kirk Cousins' fault.
No, it's a play call.
No. This is on TJ Hawkinson.
Well, you can do that too, but I still don't also like his options either.
If TJ Hawkinson's route,
let's get to it. Let's
No. Stop. If TJ Hawkinson's route is an option route, which means I am giving you discretionary movement
to go win,
to read the field, read the coverage, and read your defender, and then you get to go in, out, up, down. That's what this is. Whatever play call, Y option, or whatever they want to call their tight end, which is what TJ Hawkinson is. I think. Now, I don't know if this is the play call or not, and maybe it's not. Maybe they're clearing out on the bottom side, which they definitely are with that receiver, and they did want him to run. Maybe his call is always an out route. If that's the case, I dislike the call. If it is an option route, this is a first down if TJ Hawkinson
goes left. Yeah.
And that is what's not on Cousins. Cousins obviously threw the out.
But see, so that's where I'm on and I don't know that option.
But if you think that your best matchup, which TJ Hawkinson was in this game, he destroyed the Giants.
He did.
So if you see, because right now we're paused at a great moment. Basically, the top side you've got double covered on deep, and so you're going to be working front side, which would be the right side as we look at it. They don't have any timeouts. Play clock's running down. You've got 2-on-1. You've got the safety and corner. And so the only 1-on-1 matchup you have, because the middle linebacker or safety, it looks like it's safety, is going to be taking Dalvin Cook out of the backfield. Your 1-on-1 matchup is TJ Hawkinson. Everybody else I mean, unless you want to take a shot at the top of the screen, I
don't like the route combos.
No, I mean, I don't disagree.
Like, I get what you're saying here, and 100. You're 100%.
100%. Right. If he runs an angle route there, that's a first down.
Correct. Or by the way, it does.
And nobody says anything when Kirk Cousins throws that ball 6 yards and he goes for 14.
Correct.
You know, I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Let's run it. Let's just run it and look at this. If that's an option route, he didn't do any move. By the way, it was awful. No. Like, it just looked tired.
So that's
sloppy.
That became my question.
Now, pass rush definitely helped in this situation.
But the other option is, right there.
He has.
Right there.
This is the only one that's. The other ones, I think Jefferson, he was just clearing out for this. He has 2 options. This isn't really an option. To me, there's just not enough options.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you did what you're supposed to do. You need to get a first down here, 4th and 8. And here's the problem. I don't know the route. I don't know what was called.
I'm going to, now looking at this, though, I don't think so. I don't think he had an option to go in.
Because you have the
dig come back, it would have blinded it.
And so if that's the case, that's a dig throw all the way.
It's 4th down. You have to.
You have to.
Yep.
As soon as the safety's clear and don't let anything go deep, which is your first check, just make sure that nobody burnt like this.
Clearly,
nobody gets burned. Boom, 17.
God, he was looking there the whole way.
Yeah, he just stared him down. He? That's why I thought it was an option route, because of the stare down. I thought he was waiting to know what option he chose, and was just going to that matchup because he liked it the most. You know what I mean?
He was, but it doesn't make sense with having a backside dig that was open, by the way.
I mean, I don't disagree. I'm just saying that I think that he chose.
He did. He chose. I mean, he chose to go over
pre-snap. This is
He looked right this whole time.
Right, but my thought was that he was staring it down because it was an option route, meaning that he didn't know which side he was going to be on, so he had to stare it down in order to know what throw he was going to make.
Yeah. I mean,
that could be completely wrong.
He's looking at this safety and him the whole time. Mm-hmm. He never looked like it wasn't even an opportunity.
Nope.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Poor execution on that.
No doubt.
This one is fun, is something, okay? J.K. Dobbins had a lot to say after the Ravens loss. If we would have had Lamar, we would have won. He should have never been in that situation. Talking about Huntley diving over. Mm-hmm. And then he asked, why am I not out there? He had 12 carries. Mm-hmm. I can't really fault him for any of those conversations. From a professional standpoint, probably don't say those.
Harbaugh also kind of shit on Huntley, who had a good game.
He did. I don't understand.
It's a bad look for the organization.
He made a mistake, but he was trying to win a football game.
Yeah, and I kept you in a game.
Can't fault. I mean, he kept in a game that, and no, you can't say if you had Lamar because we don't know how his health is. Clearly,
no doubt,
not good enough to play.
No doubt.
So they were throwing up stats about the Bucs offense for the season, and I know it was bad because I'm in the South. South's bad. But there was 2 that really made me just lose my mind and realize that no one in the South should have been in the playoffs. 1, Buccaneers won the NFC South. Mm-hmm. They had only scored over 24 points twice all season. Pretty sure all the other 3 teams have done that multiple times. I know one for a fact, by the way.
That's why once we got to 24, I said we need one more score, and it's good.
Yeah, because they don't.
And I mean, even after that, I worried. But like once we got past 24, I was like,
it's over.
Yeah.
And then this other one, they had 59 attempts of 3rd and 10 on the season. They were 3 of 59, the lowest by any team. This is a Brady-led team, by the way. Mm-hmm. Lowest by any team since 1980.
I mean, this is a team with Cameron Brate, Cade Otton, Mike Evans. I mean, Mike Jones. Evans, right? Julio Jones.
Fournette.
And you've got Godwin too. Like, I mean, you've got weapons. Like, as far as 3rd and 10 in the NFL, I don't know what the stat is. The Chiefs lead the NFL in this stat. They're the worst in 3rd and short. Which is kind of funny.
But probably
they're the best in this, and I want to say they're in the 40s it's absurd. It's absurd how bad the Chiefs are in third and short, but it's also absurd how great they are in like third and it's either 8+ or 10+. And it's like 46% or 43, like something just like.
I would love to know what the average is. The average has got to be around the 25.
Yeah,
right.
I'd assume at best. Yeah,
this is.
I mean, they're.
Horrific.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there was a close second.
I saw that and I'm like, there's no way they're winning this.
Yeah,
there's no way winning this. Oh man, you gotta love the internet.
So this is Brett Maher kicking a field goal.
Just kicking a field goal.
Oh wait, wrong sport.
Wrong sport. Wrong sport.
It's all good. For those that can't see, that's a golfer shanking the ball into the water.
For my Falcons fans, this is for you out there. Julio
Not
Jones,
a touchdown.
Julio Jones catching touchdowns
Not
from
a
Tom
touchdown.
Brady in the playoffs against Dan Quinn and Dante Fowler is just too much to process.
That's just a lot. I mean, that goes back to the first one with the defensive back. Just guys moving around all the time.
A lot.
And catching.
I don't know who created this.
I don't. That's
Is this legit?
That's a verified account. Now, legitimacy I cannot dictate, but according to this is Jerry Jones's authenticated account. Now, I don't know exactly how all of that works, but
if you can kick and are currently in the stadium right now, come on down to the field. We got a jersey for you.
Now, here's the problem. I can see Jerry Jones tweeting that.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know, but.
Oh. And so I don't know how many times in his career.
Where's Michelle when we need her?
Right. This is soccer.
This is soccer.
Actually, it's a red flag. It's a red card, by the way, because it's from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, didn't touch the ball.
No play on the ball whatsoever.
This is embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean he goes Mac Jones on
Great tackle by Julio.
Mac Jones.
What are you, Mac Jones? Who?
It must be. It's the Patriot way. I got him.
Oh, but what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, just goes in, and I mean, he throws the leg. There is one thing he is trying to do here. There's $20. No other way to spin that.
Fined.
No, fine.
No. But this is a finable offense. You can't do this.
You can't just kick somebody's leg out. No,
no. I can't do it blocking.
Right.
I can't do it tackling.
Yeah,
just Tom Brady can. Also,
this was on the play that ultimately ended up not being a fumble, I believe.
Correct.
But they got they got incomplete pass, but first down because they got penalized from the spot of the foul. It was very confusing because two different instances last night, ABC went to commercial. One was this play. The other one was the only PAT that Maher made. They went to commercial, and we didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
Twitter was blowing up about that. I thought that was funny. ABC production last night was questionable at best. Yet better than the Tony Dungy, Al Michaels announcing this weekend in the, I believe it was the Jags Chargers game.
I try not to pay attention.
They had gone to sleep pretty much completely. And then as the game got exciting, they were, I mean, I don't say too much about announcers overall, but they were boring. And I like both of those guys. Tony Dungy's just not excitable because that's his demeanor.
Correct.
And then Al Michaels, I think, is just old enough now, and he had kind of gone to sleep. They forgot that this game was 27-0, and now we're scoring game-winning touchdowns, and it was like, and there he goes for the touchdown, and the Jaguars take the lead. It's like, wait, they were down 27-0. Where's it was bad. There's people calling them out all night on Twitter for that.
As they should. Nice little quote from Peyton here, and we'll play the video after
I just disagree with this quote, and I like Peyton Manning. I like watching Manning cast. I think this is a bullshit.
I have something to say about that because I think so too. But Peyton says, I don't know if I ever made a halftime adjustment in my entire 18-year career. I think that's the biggest myth in football, the halftime adjustments. You go in, you use the restroom, you eat a couple oranges, and then a head coach says, all right, let's go. Now, I want to speak on behalf of, and we're just going to let this play and you guys can hear it.
Right.
Because we can't, because I don't know how to do that button. Maybe we'll play it. Oh, I had it. There it goes. From a defensive perspective, it's a complete and utter bullshit lie. We make adjustments all the time.
Right.
We have to. Now, from my point of view, from an offense, from a Peyton Manning point of view, he's making adjustments all the time.
Correct.
So I can see it from that perspective. But he might not make adjustments, but the coaches are. There's no way around that.
Right. Well, and someone, I mean, he has to realize, and here's where it's coming from. It's coming from Peyton Manning, like you said, who is, I mean, he's making adjustments, 3 to 4 adjustments per play.
Yes.
And so in his mind, no, there's not any specific halftime adjustments because he's the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback.
In every position.
The eyes of the offense from every position, every play is how his mind works, which is like very few, if any, ever in the NFL history, or guys that will come after him for that matter. But the statement is egregious in that you're going to be making adjustments all game, but specifically at halftime, you're going to make adjustments from they're attacking us this way. We either need to continue doing something we game planned, and it was exactly what we expected, or this is what we're seeing on these downs. This is what we're seeing on these downs. These are the type of personnel, play calls, etc., that we can be in there. Now, some coaches are better than others. Some players are better than others. Some games are better than others. But the fact that like those things wouldn't be talked about or anything like that is just, it's utter nonsense.
It is. Now, for him, again, he made adjustments 3 or 4 times a play.
Right.
Fine. In football, you make adjustments. Yes, you make adjustments all the time, but halftime's a time where there's no football being played.
Right.
It's time you can get together and made said adjustments.
Right. I mean, if a team has completely, like specifically offensively, you can probably speak a little bit better defensively, but like if a team has come out in either a blitz package, a certain front, or a certain coverage that we didn't prepare for or prepared for very little, we are completely changing the offensive attack, whether it be personnel style, meaning 1 running backs, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 4 receivers, based on that. And those are happening within plays, yes, during a half or whatever. But at halftime, like we're completely scrapping a certain section of the playbook because of those things. And so those things happen small or large every game. And I have to assume same thing on
it's same exact
defensive
thing.
side of the ball.
Basically, we're trying to take something away from you so we know your playbook gets shrunk.
Right.
And you guys are trying to attack us so that way your playbook's opened, and now we are going, well, this is a guessing game. I have no clue what's coming next.
Right. But you can get a pretty good idea by halftime.
You absolutely can.
Of
what's going on.
This is what we struggled with. This is what we did. Even if you have a great half where you're shutting a team out,
kind of like up 27-0.
These are the adjustments that team's going to make.
Right.
What can we do to combat that?
If we see it.
Also, if we are dominating, ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes you can overthink. I mean, sometimes you shouldn't make halftime adjustments, then you do.
Right.
And maybe that's what happened to the Chargers. Hard to tell, within the flow of the game type of thing. I mean, probably a little bit of both again.
Always.
But at the end of the day, it's, one of those things where the fact that it wouldn't be talked about is, I guess maybe Peyton didn't like to talk about it, and he would have had some type of dictation.
There's no way.
But there's no way the other position coaches aren't talking to their.
Oh yeah, and there's also no way he hasn't told a receiver, running back, or lineman like you need to. I saw this. You do this.
Right.
That's.
But again, he's doing that every play, so like it's hard to get into that mindset too. So I think that's where it's coming from. I didn't see that. What was Eli's reaction to that? Did you see it here? Huh. Right. Okay. So like, yeah, not in.
And it wasn't long enough. Like I think they just cut his. Right. So it didn't. And I don't watch Manicast, which apparently I need to.
Oh, it's fun.
I just haven't.
Yeah. I try to watch whatever the casts are that aren't whoever's announcing the game. I watch the McAfee feeds for college football.
Announcers are awful.
Yeah. So.
Awful, but
it's just fun because they watch the game like we do, but in whatever their mindset is.
Right.
So that's what's enjoyable about those.
There we are. There's our Twitter feed for the week.
Yep. Ready to get into these games?
I am. Once you
got the Saturday Night Football, or what do you got?
I don't know what to play. Screw it.
All right.
We need more sounds. Can we do that season, whatever number we're going into?
Yeah, sure.
So we roll into, well, you know what? No. Before we get into that, we have one thing we have not talked about that we were going to. It's having a Monday Night Football playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
And how shitty and stupid that is. You go 3-3. Why would you not? Because now you've got a beyond well-rested Niners team who didn't need to be rested because they dominated. Right. They have 2 days, 2 extra days on your Cowboys.
Yeah.
And yes, it might because of your Cowboys, fine, whatever. But it's bullshit that we're playing on Monday night to turn around and have them play on Saturday.
No, they play Sunday.
Or Sunday early game, sorry.
No, they're Sunday late.
Are they?
They're the latest game possible. But it's still 2 days.
No. It's because the Niners played early Saturday. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Give them the Sunday night game with a Monday night game?
Right, then I'm fine.
Fine.
Ultimately, yes. But, I mean, the biggest problem is you don't know as the NFL, you don't know who's going to win those games. So like you can't get it right.
You never will
outside
be able to.
of one day.
Why do it?
Why do it?
Why not going 3-3? Why would you do that?
Because right now, Dallas, and even if Dallas played on Sunday, no argument there. It's Saturday game, Sunday game,
playing.
like whatever. You can't have a Monday night game in the playoffs.
No.
I mean, Parsons is banged up and Curse may be hurt. He went out of the game. That's 2 of Dallas's best defenders who have 2 less days than any 49ers defender in order to recover and are going to be very huge keys in being able to even slow down that attack from San Francisco.
Now, sure, some people will say, fine, they also they're able to watch their game fully and game plan better.
Yeah.
Well, they're also prepping for a game. So there's only so much that you're going to watch that Niners game and be like...
The players aren't getting the benefit there, and that's ultimately who's playing
the game.
Right.
Like, ultimately.
So, they're scouting, but, they're not scouting to play the 49ers before they scout to play the Bucs. I'll guarantee you that.
It's so dumb, and I really hope they change that because it's...
And also it just makes sense to have 3 games each day.
Yeah, why would you go 2-3-1?
Wildcard weekend,
3-3.
So...
Dumb, but we did have to
address that. So.
All right, so we open up with Jags, and I'll verify the numbers because I did this earlier today. But
do you have 8.5, 52.5?
Correct.
Yep. I checked after lunch, so we can check again if we'd like.
But anyways, let's talk through that one. So we got Jags, Chiefs 8.5, 52.5 playing at home. I don't have the weather pulled up yet.
4.5. Wow. Only one game has moved, and it is moving.
Good. I can't wait to get to it.
Yeah.
So playing on Saturday.
Interesting.
It's supposed to snow starting at noon. Okay. All the way through the night. So this is gonna be a snowy game.
Yeah.
Rain and snow, technically. 38 degrees.
Rain snow mix.
6 mile an hour winds, meh. But it's that rain snow.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that benefit, in your opinion?
Both of these teams are very similar. You have a young Jacksonville team, can be explosive on defense in different areas, can be explosive on offense in different areas, and can look bad at times on both sides. And you have Kansas City, who I would say the exact same thing about, but they have Mahomes, but they have Andy Reid, but they have the experience.
And they're playing at home in that stadium.
And Jacksonville's coming to cold weather, it was 45 in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
so but the temperature isn't going to be the issue.
It's the rain and snow that they're not used to. Rain, fine.
Right, but I mean, even the snow, Kansas City doesn't want to play in the snow either. They want to play fast.
That's true. You're not wrong.
I think that Kansas Shitty.
Wow.
Kansas Shitty weather.
Hot take.
That's some Kansas Shitty weather. My father-in-law will be at the game, so he'll get to endure that. But, 8.5 is the number, 52.5 overall. And Kansas City's played a lot of close games this year. Yeah. Jacksonville's find a way to battle. I just don't see. I don't see one team pulling away either way. I think this is going to be a competitive game.
I do too.
Kansas City, I think they find a way to win the game, being at home, having Mahomes. But I don't think Jacksonville's going without a fight. And I don't think 8.5. I don't think Kansas City can cover that.
That's a lot of points. They're coming off a bye, and yes, they're well rested and all that, but that usually means you come out slower,
right?
Which doesn't really
which has been, I mean, that's been an MO of Kansas City all year. So on top of that,
right? And no, the Jags aren't going to have 5 turnovers. That's not going to happen again,
right?
And so I agree with you. I don't think the Chiefs can't cover that. That's a lot of points to me.
Right.
52.5 with that weather now. That one's more precarious to me.
It's not windy.
That's
my biggest
big
thing.
Deal.
I've got Kansas City to win this game, Jacksonville to cover, and 100%. I've got the over.
Okay.
52.5. That's been. I mean, the last 2. So Dallas and Tampa was a half point under, and
there was one more.
Bengals Ravens was 1 point under.
The rest.
Besides that, they were all very much over.
Correct.
And I would argue both the games that went under had more chances to go over than they did to stay under.
There's a thing.
You were definitely sweating the under more than you were. Yeah. The over felt like it should have hit in all of them. So I just think both teams have the weapons to be able to expose the other team's defense. Again, weather could become a factor, but I just don't. The conditions don't sound that way. So I will take the over 52.5. I see Kansas City winning this game somewhere in the realm of about 31 or 34 to 27 to 30 type of thing. So
I do agree. So you know what that means. You do, everybody. That's great going into this. Fantastic.
Biggest X factor for you in that game?
McKinnon for the Chiefs.
For the Chiefs?
He's been getting open, or what? They've been scheming for him. Mm-hmm. He's really the only other outlet that can take off the pressure from Kelsey.
Right.
As long as it's not a slippery track and he can get going, he gets going. These things, they're just going to keep scoring. They're not going to stop. So he's going to be my X factor.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with ETN.
Okay.
I think the Jaguars need to use him like McKinnon.
Yep.
Get him the ball. He's definitely explosive, both in pass and run. I also think that depending on the weather, I think how the Chiefs use Pacheco could loom large, because he's definitely the most physical runner on that team, and sometimes I think the Chiefs completely misuse him or don't use him when they should be in the red zone. So that could definitely loom large on whether they're kicking field goals or scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah, I agree.
Saturday night, NFC East battle that everyone anticipated in the divisional round. The New York Giants, the G-Men, traveling to Philly to take on Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. And Hurts has not played
in like a month.
Yeah.
That's the biggest question mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is what Jalen do we get?
Yeah.
And what Eagles team do we get? Last time we saw him.
Right.
The weather's not a factor on Saturday. It is on Sunday, but not Saturday when they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
7.5 in a divisional game. That seems like a lot to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Specifically, seeming how the G-Men just played well.
Right.
Now they were in a dome. Blah blah blah. Fine. Dome grass. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's a divisional game in the playoffs. Saturday night. And it's not like they need the extra time to scheme them. They know them.
Yeah.
You're going to know them.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles will have some wrinkles because they had little extra time, but you're going to get what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And to me, it's Hurts. Is he the MVP basically of the year, how he played?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we get him kind of post-injury when he played against the Bears?
Yeah. And I'm going to go with Barkley just because he needs the touches.
If they don't
the
give
Giants
him
are
the
good
ball.
I will say if Barkley needs 25 touches, and that's passes, passes and runs. And if he gets 25, and here's what I'll say: I don't think they will get him 25 touches, and so therefore I don't think they will win the game. I do think they'll cover the 7.5 divisional game.
Yeah.
This is a game, I don't know about the rust for Hurts or anything like that. Giants D, familiarity. This game feels like a divisional under to me, but it feels like both offenses are ultimately the better overall units. So maybe a first half under I would maybe look at, but I think overall this game does end up going over as well.
Yeah, I got it at 27-24.
So I've got Philadelphia winning, Giants covering, and the over, which it looks like that is another
Goonlocks. At least these other games are a little closer.
Right.
Okay.
The
right.
biggest movement that we've seen is in this.
This is it?
Well, no, the next game is actually
Buffalo Bills.
Bills-Bengals. Sorry, I've got them in the wrong order on my sheet here. But Bills-Bengals has not moved. It is Cincinnati traveling to Buffalo in what I completely disagree with, Buffalo being able to play this as a home game. If the Bengals were going to have to flip a coin with Baltimore, Buffalo should have to flip a coin with Cincinnati. They didn't play the game that basically determined home field advantage.
Determined this situation.
And somehow Cincinnati was the only one who didn't get a coin flip out of the deal.
I don't understand.
Doesn't make any damn sense. We've said that since the time that the rulings came out. So now here it is. If Buffalo wins this game, they host the AFC Championship, which again, complete and utter bullshit. But hey, we don't make the rules. Somebody voted and they all voted it was okay. Obviously, a different scenario that we hope to never see again with the Hamlin issue. But I mean, we're talking competition committee, Players Association, like so whoever you need to look into whatever the bullshit was that caused this. Because basically, Buffalo was the team that far and away was given the benefit of the doubt in all of these scenarios. Now, their record before all of it happened somewhat dictated that, but ultimately it wasn't a fair shake for all involved in a game that if Cincinnati won that wasn't played, they would be hosting a home game. Now I think the Bengals might even play better on the road, and the Bills definitely didn't play great at home this last weekend, so I don't know that makes much difference one way or the other. But just wanted to get that out there.
We got snow all day.
As far as my feeling on that, definitely supposed to be snowy.
10-mile-an-hour winds. Not a lot of snow. I mean, a quarter of inch probably over the course of the game, which is minimal.
Both teams used to playing in
so
crappy-ish weather.
Both teams coming off just a meh game.
Yeah.
Whether it's going through the motions, set up for this game, I don't know.
Right.
But I'm actually rolling with your Bills on this one. The 15-win Bill team that never got to 15 wins. Mainly because I just know that what they're looking for is to get back to play the Chiefs. And I don't think that this is going to stop them. Now, part of that is because the Bengals O-line is
a little decimated.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's really that's a big picture of it, and the Bills are going to attack that. Mm-hmm. Offensively, I think both teams can score. I don't think that's the game. I think it comes down to I just believe that Burrow's going to be running for his life. Mm-hmm. And unless Allen, decides to turn the ball over again in the red zone, which, by the way, he's the best at it, the Bills should be able to win this one and put it away.
Yeah. So we're going to disagree completely. You think, what are you thinking overall that this game ends up score-wise?
This will be 27-24. I think the Bengals will cover. It's close.
You
game.
think the Bengals cover?
It'll be a close game.
Okay. So you've got the over as well, though.
Yes.
48.5 is the number there. 4.5 for the Bills. I've said for the last 3 weeks that I thought Cincinnati was the hottest team in the AFC and that San Francisco was the hottest team in the NFC. I'm going to continue to ride that, even after Cincinnati, didn't look the part necessarily, but either did Buffalo in their opening games. So I expect things to get cleaned up there, whether Cincinnati gets a little healthier or they just have more experience now playing on the offensive line, better idea of scheme. Cincinnati was doing some good things scheme-wise against Buffalo in the start of that game that I really liked, and I think they can throw against that secondary, who's still dinged up, has some guys that are out, obviously, and guys that were out previously to Hamlin as well. So I really like what I think Cincinnati can do. I do think Josh Allen, the turnovers catch up to him in this one, whether it's one or two. I just think that eventually that's going to catch up, and I've got Cincinnati winning this one outright and moving to play Kansas City for a right to play in the Super Bowl. So Cincinnati obviously is covering and winning, and then I also have this game going over. I see this as a Cincinnati has the ball last type of game, like a 31-28 final, something in that realm where we have a kick to win.
Yeah, I agree.
For Cincinnati,
for sure.
So,
all right. So
Sunday night,
the Sunday night game. The
we're
well-rested Niners.
We're both on the over in that one. Okay, not completely. The only difference there, you still had the Bengals covering, so you just had the Bills winning.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's
really only one difference so far. Yep. And Dallas, San Francisco, that game has moved all the way to 3.
3?
It started at 5, or I saw it as high as 5. And yeah, it is currently on FanDuel. Nothing else has changed on the over.
Wowie.
Which if I was gonna, it was at 4.5 yesterday afternoon even. Actually, maybe even this morning, and then it went to 4, and then to 4.5, or then to 4.5, 4 to 3, and I saw it as high as 5 when things opened on a couple of different sites, which I would have loved to get Dallas on the spread at 5.
Would have been nice.
I do think that San Francisco finds a way to win this game. The big reasons that I see this is San Francisco will have the ability to dictate what they allow Micah Parsons and where they allow him to line up by formation and by their skill set of being able to run both Debo and McCaffrey, and Purdy being a little bit elusive. It's not going to be the Parsons that we got to see against Tampa, where we know Brady's going to be in one spot for the most part, and Parsons, no matter where he lines up, is going to have an idea. We've got 3 different moving targets now. That's what neutralizes Parsons the best as far as when teams have attacked him this year or gone away from him, but they've done a lot of running right at him. That can neutralize, like, even if he makes some tackles, he's best in space. And so Dallas's weakness is the running game, and if Micah Parsons can't be electric in that form, Pollard is their best player on offense. I think the 49ers are going to have a game plan to make sure that they don't allow, and they haven't really all year, allow the running game to get going in that fashion. They struggled against, which the Broncos is kind of weird, but they struggled against Mahomes. They struggled against Fields a little bit, and they struggled against, at that point, probably wouldn't have been Ritter, probably would have been Mariota. So running based quarterbacks. Mobile, yeah. Not that Dak isn't mobile, but Dak's not looking to run. So if he can make a couple scrambles, that's definitely going to make open up. And San Francisco's definitely showed to be a really good defense at times, but they've definitely shown some holes in their defense. So if Dak can get comfortable and make plays down the field, then that'll help Pollard out. I just feel like San Francisco's answers to Dallas's best players are better than Dallas's answers to San Francisco's best players, unfortunately. Yeah. I would really like to ride Dallas on this. Not saying they don't have a chance to win. They are playing a rookie quarterback who, if you can find a way, Purdy will force things. He'll extend plays, and they usually have enough weapons that somebody's open, and he's made the throws. Or Shanahan has put him in spots to be successful. So not to say that Dallas hopefully can find a way. Quinn has done a great job this year with that defense, the last 2 years actually. So, would it surprise me? No, but I just think overall for 60 minutes, San Francisco somehow finds a way, this game being at home. I don't think weather's going to be an issue at all.
58 degrees or something
this
perfect.
week. So I think San Francisco's the hottest team in the NFC. I think somehow they find a way to win this game. Was definitely on Dallas on the spread at 4. I think Dallas will find a way to keep it close at 3. That's just kind of push world. So I'll just keep my picks the same, that Dallas is going to cover the spread. San Francisco is going to win the game. And I do think this game goes over the 46.5 out of just the big playability that I think San Francisco is going to create. Purdy extending plays makes big plays for San Francisco, and then they really gouge people in the running game, and they have 2 guys who can go the distance at any time in the backfield between Samuel and McCaffrey on big play opportunities. And if Diggs chooses to be passive and not involved in the tackling of 49ers, that could get very ugly. So, I think ultimately San Francisco, I'll go 27-24, 27-20. I mean, the 3. I don't like the 3. I wouldn't play the 3. I would have played the 4, the 4.5 on the Cowboys. So that's where, kind of I see that game.
This one comes down to a battle of Shanahan and Quinn.
Yeah.
They know a lot about each other. They've obviously were coaching together. So who's going to figure out whom? Now, knowing Quinn's defense, now way better players at this point, but has a tendency to not perform well when there's a McCaffrey as an athlete, a Debo as an athlete with a quarterback who can move somewhat. Mm-hmm. And that to me is what's going to loom large. Now, obviously, I'm going to assume Parsons is healthy. The curse thing, that didn't look good.
No.
That looked like I know it was a contact, but that didn't look good. That'll hurt. And then to your point, if Diggs is not trying to play football from a tackling standpoint, Shanahan's going to dial up and go after him all game. And Diggs didn't play that well in coverage last week either. Didn't really need to, but
no. And the one thing I will say about that though is that he didn't play like when guys were wide open. They were wide open, and like when he was on coverage, but he did not give them any double move or big plays down the field. He made them beat them in front of him.
Yeah.
And so I will commend him for that.
Right.
Even though he played super soft in all other realms of being able to play soft and successful.
Do you think that was part of the scheme? Is for him to play soft, and then mentality-wise, he just went soft?
Soft. And I can't disagree with that. And I think that's probably the better play because Tampa is not a high-scoring team. So, therefore, if you allow them the big play, like they had proven all season, they cannot drive the ball down the field and score. And that's exactly what happened against Dallas. They drove the ball. They scored. Tom Brady threw 66 times. Like,
that's so
they drove the ball. They were down there 4 or 5 different times, but they were terrible on third down. They were, like all of those things. Brady can't move, so he's susceptible to sacks in those situations. He was inaccurate. Like all those things played out because they didn't the only time they let Evans get deep was at the very end of the game when they just completely screwed up a coverage and let him run wide open down the sideline. And that wasn't even on Diggs. So I liked that game plan. That's not going to work against the 49ers, however, just because of the scheme and whatever they play. But yeah, I wasn't. it was embarrassing for me to watch Diggs at time because that's not the type of player he is.
Right.
But like you can tell that it felt like that's how he was coached.
Yeah.
So
not the tackling part. Let's just not get that wrong. He was not coached to run away from a tackle.
Or like the fumble play, he completely dodged away from that. I mean, every type of play that he had a chance to have contact,
he literally dove away from.
Looked like a little schoolgirl.
It was bad. But so that's where we sit. For me, I'm riding the hot hand. I've got Niners, and I got at 3 Niners to cover because, well, it'll probably end up being a push anyway. I wouldn't bet on the spread at all. So yeah, I'm gonna go with hot hand with Niners. There'll be a lot of old school footage with this matchup. It'll be really cool to see in prime time. This one does go over. I'm thinking 31-24, 31-28 area, because I do believe that Cowboys will score late. Shanahan does a really poor job at closing out football games,
right?
And that's what it'll come down to. Now, if Purdy gets wild, throws picks, if Dak goes crazy, decides to turn it over,
could get ugly.
It literally can get it can get ugly the other side. And so that's where I leave it at.
Yeah, I mean the big thing that a lot of nostalgia as I look back on this game. Grew up a big Cowboys fan, huge triplet fan. Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. It was a battle between them and the 49ers pretty much all of the mid to late 90s. Steve Young and crew. He had a lot of guys go in and out of there, all top-notch guys between receiver and running back there. But there was always good battles, and that was a rivalry that I always enjoyed watching. I never hated the 49ers because they were always classy.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things, like it was always just going to be a good game. Those are the two teams that battled for the NFC East. It feels like every year of my childhood. So like getting back to that, and then you throw in the fact that Purdy's playing for the 49ers.
Yep.
Obviously the Cowboys won a playoff game against Tom Brady on the road. Like, whoa, holy shit. Like what's going on? Like, I'm not going to get my hopes up. And again, like if the 49ers win, I hope they win the Super Bowl type of thing. But it'd be great to see a Cowboys win this week.
There it is. There it is.
I mean, you can't help but like watch Dak play, watch Kellen Moore play calling, and be like, all right, like it's in there.
Yeah, it's possible. It really is.
Can Dallas keep the 49ers in front of them and make Purdy ultimately the one that has to make all of the plays? Don't let McCaffrey get a 40-yard run. Don't let Debo get a 45-yard double reverse.
Whatever the hell they're going to do.
Whatever
Debo,
it is,
right.
like whatever it is with those guys, like make it be from Purdy over the top. And whether that's an extended play or whatever, make him be the one to make the play, and also let him be the one to make the mistake. And Dak, you can't. You're the veteran in this. Yeah. You can't make the mistake.
Correct.
Early, late, whatever. The 49ers are the team that are set up to be able to do an entire open offense for an entire game and have big play potential no matter where they're at without having to change their scheme. Dallas is, but that's not how they play call, unfortunately. But then like last night we were up 31-14 and we threw a 40-yard fade pass instead of just running the football. So, I mean,
who knows?
Who knows?
It's aggressive Cowboys in the playoffs.
Right. I mean, I hope we go out. I hope we go down swinging. I hope it's a great game. I obviously hope we win the game. But if I'm betting with my head, which isn't good either, so maybe fade me on that. But I'm looking forward to a great game, great week of games. I do think that the spreads, as you're going to see in our picks, are a little lopsided. I don't see these games getting that out of control. I see them all being one-possession games. I don't see any team having a significant glaring advantage, which is what we saw last week, and then we still saw close games. So hopefully we don't see the opposite of that. Nobody wants to see a blowout.
That would be,
that would be a big letdown. Again, Jacksonville playing as well as anybody in the AFC. albeit young and inexperienced, playing against the Chiefs, could be rusty. So I expect that game to be close simply because that's how those teams play.
Right.
Giants-Eagles is just a division rivalry. Giants are playing as good as they've played. Eagles, again, rusty. Hurts hasn't played. You got Cincinnati-Buffalo. Everybody wants to see that game. What are your thoughts on that game as far as like emotions from like the last time these two teams played each other?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's better that it's not at Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's so much
because
better.
it's not on their field.
So much better.
But like the game ended with an ambulance ride and teams not knowing about their friend, their brother. Emotions high, emotions like I see the pregame being very brotherly.
I think they'll do something, and I don't know if a team will do it. They'll do something. They're going to do something.
Right, pregame.
Once they do that, it might even be
It's
the first
game
snap
on.
or something.
Right.
Whatever. All the way up till then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to have those emotions, everything. Once that happens, I think they'll be fine. But they're going to do something. They have to.
Like the emotions are still there. Like they're still raw.
Yeah, but it won't
though DeMar Hamlin has.
Now, if it was at
he's
Cincy,
home, that's a whole different feel.
oh man, that would
just
be
like doom and gloom type of thing.
it'd be interesting.
We haven't really talked about that, so I was just curious as I was going back through there. Like so like
but
how that affects the game, if that affects the start again, maybe a first half under you look at there because of that.
Probably
both teams dragging a little bit, maybe, or just over emoted.
Could be.
And then obviously we get to the Sunday afternoon evening game, Dallas San Francisco, and we hope they end it with a barn burner.
Yeah, I mean we got some matchups.
Do you have any best bets? Not that we don't need to do all of our normal best bets, but like anything that you really see that's glaring that jumps out at you as far as whether it be a number or an over-under that you really feel very strong about?
This, not really.
Okay.
Ultimately, and the reason
we feel very strong about the overs. We're both on.
Yeah, clearly take the ride the overs.
8-0 on overs, and that's about to backfire.
Oh, they're going. All of them are going under.
Yeah,
no, not really. I'm good.
What's your strongest feel on the So we both had all 4 overs hitting. What is your strongest overplay?
Chiefs Jags.
Man, I completely agree with that.
The Eagles Giants I can see going under because it's division game. Bengals Bills, some of those games turn into 20-17 fairly easy. Cowboys Niners, that one should go over as it should, but
both teams can kind of run the ball, so like if
they could take the game
away,
and take the clock away if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So the Chiefs Jags though, I don't think so. I think they're going full octane and just going at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what.
And both teams are going to just continue to sling it. That's what Lawrence showed even when he got down 27-0. Right. Obviously, the Chiefs have the ability to be on the other side of that 27.
Would not be shocked if both of them threw for more than 40 times.
Right.
So with that, points are going to be
scored. We agree on that. Any of the spreads that jump out at you that are, I think we both kind of agreed that just the numbers were a little too big. On the one seeds ultimately who haven't played and then had teams that are fairly hot coming in playing them. Yeah. And also that have played close games.
Honestly, I would stay away from spreads. I don't like them.
Right.
I just don't like it. I think the Chiefs Eagles, I think it's too many points, but I just don't. Which is good. My gut feeling for this weekend is I'm just going to enjoy football because I really don't have a feel for these games as much as I would think.
How about give me one touchdown scorer from each of these games?
Ooh, an any-timer.
I mean, we haven't really done that, but as far as having a best bet instead of doing our best bets, maybe do that.
Well, Kelsey's going to score.
Yeah, Kelsey in the Jacksonville game.
Yeah, Kelsey's scoring.
I am going to go with your boy McKinnon. He'll be a little bit higher, but I think he finds a way to score a touchdown in that game. The Chiefs have been using him in a lot of different ways. So a little.
Okay.
Let me see. As we do that, I'm going to try to pull up what their touchdown odds might be. So the next game, you've got the Giants and
the Eagles.
The Eagles.
Broncos Barkley. I have to. They have to give him touches.
So Kelsey's minus 145. McKinnon's 120. Those are the top two guys without even looking that we hit there. So,
of course,
why not, right?
For me, it's got to be Barkley. They have to give him his touches, and he will score. He has to if they want to be in the game.
He's minus 105. And I'm going with Hurts, who unfortunately is minus 125. So,
all right. Bengals, Bills.
Bengals, Bills. I would go with probably. I would probably either go with Allen or Davis, or Chase, Burrow. Chase is 125. Allen's 145. I think Allen at 145 is. I would like that. I like Gabriel Davis at 165. Actually, would be probably the play there for me.
So which one are you going with?
I'll go with Davis in the Bills game.
At
Add a little more Bill.
At what?
165
plus.
Yep.
I'm gonna go completely different.
Okay.
Give me Knox.
Okay.
I just think they'll take a lot away. Tight ends show up in playoffs. I mean, we've seen it every game. And I think that assuming he's healthy, I have no clue on that. By the way.
As far as I know, he is.
Okay.
Yep.
So what was his?
Sorry, I didn't see him on the.
Hence the reason I said if he's healthy, because if he's not, then I have no clue. There he is.
Plus 210.
It's not bad.
I don't mind T. Higgins at plus 190 either. I think he's going to have a big game.
Not at all. All right. Cowboys, Niners.
Cowboys, Niners.
I mean, the easy one here is McCaffrey. I think he's going to score a touchdown.
Yeah, and I would actually go with Debo.
But, okay.
In that one, I would actually go with the lower of. I don't want to. Here we go. TV score props. Is it just one game? Oh, yeah.
You're just in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Why is it not showing me the Dallas game? It's not giving me the.
Really?
Here we go.
I was like, how could they do that?
No, they don't have
The anytime on there?
any times yet for whatever reason.
Well, that's silly. Huh.
Like that's the only game that doesn't have
Okay.
anytime touchdowns yet. I don't know if it's because it's late or what it is, but
what was Debo, by the way? Oh, wait, you couldn't find it.
no, yeah, there's not.
Yeah.
They don't have a line for that.
I'm going Pollard.
Pollard?
Yep. Long screen pass this time. He's due for a big one. He hasn't had a big one.
I'll go for Kittle.
Kittle?
Yep.
All right.
Whatever that ends up being.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they don't have touchdowns for that game yet on FanDuel.
Weird. There it is.
So
There's the wrap up.
yeah, looking for some good games. Saturday. What's the plan Saturday?
You coming over, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got the boys. I'll bring them over.
Bring them over. We're gonna do.
I mean, I don't think my wife's gonna be like, "Hey, you know what? Don't give me time alone."
Don't give me time alone. We're gonna do pork belly 2 ways.
Oh,
We're gonna do an
upside down and inside out.
Yep.
All right.
Actually, if you think about it, very, very close. Very close.
Okay.
We're going to do an Asian
You're
with
welcome.
a very puffed up, crispy skin, if you will. And then I'm doing like a plan of pulled pork, except for pork belly.
Yep.
And then do the cracklins and serve that on top as the crunchy factor.
Okay. What do I need to bring?
Cornbread.
That's a real question.
I'll do cornbread. if you want to do some type of like.
I got a new bottle of whiskey I'm bringing.
Okay, that works.
Yep.
Something, and then I'll probably end up just grilling up some chicken or something for the kids in case they don't like that.
Right.
Which, if they don't,
That's
they're not
them.
American.
That's on them.
It's
That's
fine.
on
Yeah,
us.
they'll figure it out. You better go make your own chicken nuggets.
You're lost, you little f***ers.
Yeah, right. That's about it.
Okay.
Unless you can think of like a dessert or something crazy for the kiddos.
Oh, that's fine. You like scotcheroos?
I mean,
We live in Iowa.
yeah, like
I just didn't know Nebraska. So like,
we had sketcheroos.
okay, it's a Midwest thing, not an Iowa thing.
It's obviously it's more prevalent in Iowa. It's a Midwest thing.
So like, do you have a favorite like what I would call Midwestern dessert? So like in this category, I would put scotcheroos. I would put puppy chow. Familiar with both of those, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think anything else that might come to mind that it wouldn't be a standard dessert, but like is absolutely delicious.
Yes.
Puppy chow is my favorite.
I love some puppy chow. My
Absolutely amazing.
grandma's cherry fluff.
Okay.
And it is melted down marshmallows, whipped cream, and canned cherry
Yep.
with a graham cracker crust.
Okay. Have you had strawberry pretzel dessert?
Yes, it's similar. Very
Okay.
similar.
Similar
Very
to that
similar.
without the pretzels.
Correct.
But
Well, the pretzels
again,
are the graham crackers.
another Midwestern dessert
Absolutely.
of like the Midwestern salad.
Yeah, yeah. And they're not
The
even really
old
dessert.
salad.
The thing is, they're not. They're
So you're having a
sides.
cherry.
They're actually sides.
cherry
Things.
salad.
Yeah, you're having cherry salad.
You know, because it was always cracked me up. Like strawberry pretzel salad.
Right. It's always a salad
Like,
or a
wait, excuse
casserole.
me,
Those are
there's
the only two
nothing
things.
green or healthy in either one of those.
If you go to anything Midwestern, there'll be like a potluck. There'll
Yeah.
be at least 10 salad
Salads.
dishes and 0 actual salads.
So like my mom's favorite salad to make is a banana mandarin orange from the can, and then it's vanilla pudding and marshmallows, and it's marshmallow salad.
Yeah.
And it's like
salad. Yeah.
but it's pudding
But it's
and fruit and marshmallows
mixed together. Yeah. I wonder. I would love to know.
And like as a
where did the
kid,
salad come from?
as a kid, I like now my mom does caramel checks. Caramel checks, amazing. She does them well. Like that's
Yeah.
what we have her bring because she's not a cook. We don't
Yeah.
tell her that,
We
but
don't
it
tell
is fine.
Caramel checks.
Mom, if you're listening, Mom, if you happen to listen to this after the fact, love you. But caramel checks,
checks.
that's why we have you stick to that.
Your
Marshmallow
jam.
dessert, no longer any good. She also used to do a chocolate pie where you'd buy the pre-made graham cracker crust, chocolate pudding, Cool Whip.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Simple.
I used
Amazing.
I used to make that in college just as a
just
quick, easy thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't need to go spend $15 at the Village Inn for French silk.
I need that.
I need the chocolate. I need the chocolate pudding pie.
All $3.
But marshmallow salad was definitely a childhood nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because it's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's
I don't know.
That was
Like,
the same way with my
Midwest
cherry marshmallows.
Midwest desserts. You know,
desserts.
like,
And they're salads.
because scotcheroos, that's a favorite from my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
She does great. My wife does a great scotcheroo as well. Monkey bread, and then the last one, or I guess 2 Rice Krispie treats, which I think are kind of national.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never really got behind Rice Krispie treats.
Homemade Rice Krispie treat is pretty good. My childhood babysitter knocked all of these out of the park, so like I'm very nostalgic to all of these things. Like she made Kraft mac and cheese taste like I can't ever make Kraft mac and cheese taste. So like I still have that for her. And then what was the last one that she would make? I'm trying to think. We had the caramel checks, the puppy chow, the scotcheroos. We had Rice Krispie treats, and maybe that's it. Monkey bread. Just all of those things. They're also good.
So bring some of those. Some of those.
Any of those.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Any and all combinations.
My wife's specialty is a pasta salad. So like if I say like, hey, I need to take a side to this, or
Pasta
if
salad
she's
comes.
like she's rotini pasta salad, multicolored, small pepperonis,
Nice.
Olives and
Gross.
onions, and a whole bunch of Italian dressing.
Nice.
So
I can get behind it.
sorry that you don't like olives.
I can't do olives. Black olives.
Do your
specifically.
kids black olives?
No.
My kids eat specifically black olives.
Gross.
They'll put them on their fingers and do like the bugle thing.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they love olives.
No.
Not for you, huh?
Nope. No.
See, the thing is with me is I don't like black olives whole, but I like black olives on pizza, and I like black olives like cut up in the pasta salad.
That makes sense.
But I like green olives whole. And they don't like green olives at all. But my kids love black olives whole.
Black olives remind me of black licorice, and I can't.
Yeah, but I mean, those are like, I don't like black licorice.
I can't.
That's fine. I mean, obviously, as foodies, we needed to get into this conversation, but.
Yeah. So you like black olives cut up, but not whole.
Yep.
But like green whole.
Tell me about carrots. How do you feel about carrots?
Some carrots.
All
Cooked
carrots.
or not carrots? Yeah, I love carrots.
Cooked, not cooked?
I love
I'm
carrots.
a cooked carrot guy.
Are you?
Only.
Like a mushy one, or like there's a little give? Like, where are you at with that?
No, like specifically like mixed into anything. So like you want to throw it in a stir fry, you want to do like whatever.
Oh, okay, I see you.
Or baked, like with olive oil, like a sweet potato fry, but like a cooked carrot.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I'm all about
raw carrots.
Can't do.
Not even a can, but like no need to.
Oh, they had delicious.
Like a lot of people love carrots. Carrots are pretty easy to eat, honestly. Celery.
I can bind celery
with peanut butter
or ranch,
either one,
or blue cheese.
Wife hates celery. It's the one thing that she absolutely does not eat.
Really? It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't.
Like of all of the foods, so like think of all of the things that like I could take her out to, whatever. Where she gets off the train is celery.
Yeah, it's an easy one to avoid.
But like, so chicken salad. Love chicken salad. Any kind of chicken salad. I mean, I can eat it with fruit, without fruit, plain, whatever. I love Casey's chicken salad to homemade chicken salad. You throw a little bit of celery in the chicken salad, she's out.
To be fair, I don't like celery in my chicken salad.
Right, but like it's not that it would keep you from eating it.
No.
It would keep her from eating it.
Celery.
And like that's her like her one pick.
Is it? But does
of
she
all
like
things,
is it
celery.
the texture?
It's a texture thing.
But it tastes delicious. Like celery.
But like of all the other foods that might have texture issues, you're going with celery?
Hey, it's an easy one to get rid of.
Love you, babe.
Easy one to get rid of.
Right?
Like at least that's an easy one. Lincoln, my oldest, doesn't like corn.
I don't know. Well, I mean, don't get. My oldest doesn't like mac and cheese.
Oh,
peanut butter and jelly. I mean, you find like the top 5 staple foods of kids.
Doesn't like.
My kid doesn't like BLTs. Number 1 food in his food group.
Get it?
His BLT. He does not eat bread. He eats only toast. And this is since he was young. This is not like developed. This is since he was 2 years old. He will eat a BLT toasted and make sure that it's fully toasted. The bread cannot be soft. So he will eat the full BLT. Does not like lettuce. He will not eat lettuce at all in any way, shape, or form. But he will eat bacon, tomato. We put avocados on our BLT.
Yeah. Obviously, delish.
Ketchup, that's
not good. What?
What? So he eats tomatoes and ketchup. My wife only eats ketchup on her BLTs, mind you, but she eats the lettuce.
Okay.
So
all right, I was fine.
Right. Thank you.
You were fine with celery. That shit's weird.
Thank you.
That's weird as shit.
Thank you. So I'm eating all of the things, not ketchup on my BLT, but like all of the other things.
Not a chance.
So bacon, lettuce, tomato, staple of BLT. Hudson has full toasted bacon, tomato, avocado, ketchup, baked beans. Because we always make baked beans as our side for BLTs. He puts them on the sandwich. He will eat 2 full ones of that, and the dude weighs 47 pounds. And he will beast, absolutely beast them, and then go, can I have a half one more? Anytime we eat BLTs.
Oh, you need
my youngest, who is 3, will eat BLTs, bacon, mayo, toast.
I like it.
1.
I 1. 1.
But he'll eat the whole.
Hey.
Again.
I'll applaud him on that.
Again. Like, what are we doing? So, like, if they have hot lunch at school and it's anything that Hudson doesn't like, he can either do a ham sandwich or a turkey sandwich. It's cold lunch.
Yeah.
he will only eat the meat off of those sandwiches.
Yeah.
So like there are multiple days at lunch where he has cold meat and if he likes the side.
That sounds like right.
But like he's not
eat 'em.
picky. Like I mean, again, avocado.
Yeah, not
like,
picky.
Like it's picky, but it's like, oh, we're not gonna eat mac and cheese.
Yeah.
The staple of we're not gonna eat any type of sandwich as with bread.
No, because it's not toasted.
Right.
That is such a
Dad, I hate
rule,
bread. I love.
I don't eat that.
He
but
also,
if you toast it,
the only kind of pasta he will eat
multi-color
spaghetti. Anything that is bigger than a spaghetti noodle, he will not eat.
Which is insane.
Dude will house 3 servings of spaghetti, i.e. last night.
But it's elbow pasta, not a chance.
No, not touching it. And you think I'm lying, and this has been since he was little. This is not something he's
kid,
adapted.
Do you know that they're the same?
He's been so consistent, though. It's like you can't even be mad about him because you're just like, he's not going to eat that.
Yeah.
But he'll eat shrimp. He'll eat, like you do a shrimp linguine or whatever. Loves to put like lime and lemon on his like taco. Won't eat a soft shell taco. Hard shell, boom.
He likes crunchy, Dad. He like that soft shit.
He will not eat a flour taco.
I like it.
And again, you put a hard shell taco out there, dude'll house 3 tacos.
He's not basic.
No.
He's the opposite of basic.
Which is when you're 6. Like, I don't need that.
I love that. I can get all of mine.
Yeah, he's a interesting food palate. The 3-year-old is just a pain in the ass. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're 3.
They're 3-year-olds.
But he is not, like, Hudson has been the same throughout. Like, nothing's changed with that. So, like, we know.
Right.
Hayes.
Some days this, some days that.
Right.
Some days nothing.
Something. Right. Yeah. And some days, you just you throw him outside. You put him outside. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah. Please stop being an
asshole. Yeah. And neither one, like my wife or I, either one are picky by any means. Like I said, her thing is celery, like of all things. Like it's one thing. So it's not like we're embedding that in our children or anything like that. So, but yeah, they just, kids will be kids, but it's just very funny to see all of those things.
Yeah. Kids are kids.
Yeah.
All right. With that, we'll at least sign off from you.